If you like this video, make sure you blame John. So there's an upcoming race. Here on Redneck Computer Geek, we rebuilt a 16 horsepower Vanguard with a 23 horsepower carb on it that was originally going to get dropped on this in order to use it as a plow rig instead of racing. But there's racing coming up this weekend. We've got the engine that needs to go on it. Unfortunately, the 18 horsepower that is on it right now either ate a piston ring or blew a hole in one of the pistons or something. So you can see, so this is coming out of the PCV valve, and here is some water in there, and you can literally see it blow bubbles in there. So this engine is no bueno. It is done for. And yes, I know this looks as if it's an LT1000, but it is not. We built a machine called Diesel Eater over on RCG Racing, and it has a 633A Roper transmission from a GT6000, an LT frame extended, and it runs a 10-inch pulley on the engine to a custom 5-inch pulley on the rear end. When I fired this up for its second race the end of last year, it had too much oil in it. It ate all of its oil in 150 feet of track. So that engine's done for. Just got the exhaust off. I'm pretty sure we can tell what cylinder went to hell. Yeah, look at all the chunkies. Whatever went, you can literally see rusty chunkies in that one. Well, this one is just a little on the sooty side. Oh no, there's some rusty chunky in that one too. So, whatever went, it probably went in this one. Got into the oil and stuff and got into that one too, but she's a done for. I said I was just gonna swap the engine, right? Because I'm fixing the belt system also. Let's talk about belt systems, because this comes up quite often as a question. If you take your rear pulley on your clutch side to the outside edge of your engine pulley, it doesn't matter whether it's horizontal or vertical, on your clutch side of the system, your belt should run as perfectly straight across that bottom line as it can. Right now, this belt system hits like a ton of bricks the moment you let off of that clutch. And the reason being is because it's doing this 90-degree angle of stupidity. What needs to happen is that the center between these needs to go right here. This entire clutch system honestly should exist right about here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it that close on right now, monkeying it in under like 48 hours. But hi. Jessie's in housewife attire, apparently.
No, I wore this to work.
Oh, okay. All right, do the Prego basketball dance. That was a hell of a dance. All right, I can't be two places at once, so I wanted to show you guys this. I want you to realize just how much extra unnecessary belt is in this system. So if I push this down, this is where it has been for the last 2 years of my stupidity. Now, if I flip this up to how it should have been, and Jessie tugs on that belt, right there, pull that nice and tight.
You could fit like 2 of me in there.
Yeah, that is how much extra belt that does not need to be is in that system. And every time you dump that clutch, you are slapping around all of this belt that causes dumb things to happen. It's like 6 inches.
It could use a hair tie.
It needs a hair tie. Thank you. Alright, love you.
Love you.
I don't know what they put for a fan inside this little HITBOX unit, but boy is it loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's obnoxious. Anyways, this was a tip sent in from a fan. If you have a stupid, dumb little piece that you need to weld in, grabbing one of these larger magnets that they have at like AutoZone and stuff, this one's a Titan whatever, and just stick it in place so that you can get your fingers away from where you're welding. I've been welding and fabricating since I was 13 years old. Why in the world did I never think of this? Thank you guys for your comments. I really appreciate tips like this. I love having that little VEVOR stuffed up there in the cubby hole. That thing comes in handy all the time. These are the really cheap Speedco pulleys that are showing up all over the internet now. Originally, these were only showing up on 1 or 2 places, but these knockoff Speedcos are showing up all over now. And as you can see, I went through and I welded all the way around this outside rim because me and like 8 other guys have exploded these. They like twist off. And what we ended up discovering was that they're literally only Chinesium tack welded together in 4 locations around the outside. So they must have some like big giant clamp thing, and they do 4 of them around the outside. And then when you weld on your hub, all you're welding onto is this little very thin washer on the outside. So if you're going to put any horsepower through these, reinforce it with welds all the way around that outside edge. As I was unbolting the old engine, I discovered this. Do you know what this is? This is that side cover gasket right there, because when whatever went wrong with this piston went off, it pressurized the inside of this case to the point it exploded the side cover gasket out of it. There we go. So the auction engine that we bought for 40 bucks and revived is out. We've got the engine here that John rebuilt in order to go in. We've got the chassis that we need to clean up. And we got about 24 hours before we need to be at the races. So we're going to clean this up, drop that on, get the pulley on, and then start sorting out a belt. Here we go. We got our favorite booster pack rigged up onto here. Let's see if any of the wiring survived. So right now we've got this hooked to the kill lug. This should be our push button to start. And we're going to see if we see any fuel pumping through. Okay, we've got fuel. I'm going to throw you guys into the camera stand, and we're going to choke this thing and see if we can get it to idle up. 66 degrees, 100% humidity, so if this thing fires up, I expect it to not be in a happy place. Now, what I've got right here is I've got a spring that actually loops from the choke around and goes to the throttle, so it pulls the throttle to the idle position. Otherwise, this thing would just plain run away and blow itself up. So, choke. Thought about it. Now, the question is, did we get fire on both sides? I can definitely see gas coming out. I'm going to up the idle and see if we can get it to punch up. Because we're running open air filter, open header, open everything, it's getting way more air than it really should. And so I expect it to not be happy. Yep, spring came loose. That's what I was trying to get a hold of, just as that came around. Alright, let's try that again, just this time with the spring in place. It's about 8 hours to race day, and I'm just hitting that screw it, where's my grinder point. Fits. I will take it. One thing I have found is that this vise is amazing for doing this type of work. You can clamp your ground right over the edge of it. You can move this around wherever it is that you need. And there's plenty of pounding surface there for bending over pieces of metal and stuff like that. This VEVOR vise, I definitely would get again, without question. If I was to snap it right now, I would immediately go buy another one. Alright, here we go. I'm in sandals, so we are not going to fully hit this thing. We're just going to go and start it up, make sure that it runs. Maybe tomorrow morning we'll hit it. It should be in low gear. See if it'll go into gear. Yeah, I think I flooded it. Cool. We're up and running. Transmission sounds like snot, but John built the engine, so now I get to drive it like he does. No rev limiter. Right, John?
Yeah.
Okay. I found the gasket I've been looking for the last 20 minutes and had to go dig another one out of the junk pile. Okay, all done.